Did you get that in?
Nothing wrong with a bit of meditation.
Do you know what? I feel like it stills you, so you can flow better, you can channel better. Does that make sense?
Okay.
A lot of the time when we're speaking, we're kind of on autopilot. We're not really genuinely
listening
or feeling it.
Yeah,
you know?
taking the things in truly.
Yeah, because when you feel it, I feel like you express yourself much better. Whereas when it's kind of really fast and you're kind of unconscious, it's just spitting bubbles, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm not big on meditation, to be fair. Not because I don't think it would be beneficial. I'm just not big on it. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if it's time. I think I get agitated being that still.
Well, this is probably the whole reason why you need to do it, you know?
Like, I sit there and I think, what am I saying now? I've got things to do.
Yeah. It's a similar kind of thing as when you first get on a treadmill and you kind of like, you run on the treadmill and you're like, this is boring, like, what is the point in this? But then 3 to 6 months later, you look at the person that got on the treadmill every day and you're like, whoa, that person's lost mad weight, that person looks fit, you know what I mean? That person looks healthy. So it's one of them things I think in life, a lot of the things that are beneficial for us are actually very monotonous, very boring. And what we have to do is start to find the beauty in the monotonous things. And then when we do have the great things, like when we go on a holiday or we get that new job or whatever, think how buzzing we're going to be with that because we learn to enjoy the really monotonous things.
Yeah, I agree.
You know?
That's like, it's dedication.
Yeah.
That's exactly
dedication,
what dedication
hard work,
is.
baby.
I will say to people, like, you know, I don't know if it's exactly the same, but this springs to mind. You know, like when you're trying to run your own business, and you're like, yeah, everything's like flying, everything's going wow. Like, there's so many aspects of that business, like, but if you're only taking care of the part that you love, so I'm a creative, like you're a sportsman, so if you only do the sport part, you can do that sport part well, innit?
Yeah.
But you've still got to maintain the actual business part in it.
Yeah, the kind of the documentation.
But this is what I'm saying. That's where the dedication comes in, because you love playing football and teaching football, so you don't really need to be dedicated to do it. You just do it because you love it. It's the things that you don't like doing, you know, the things that are hard to do, and you're like, oh man, I've got to go and do my tax return. I've got to do all my invoicing. I've got to do my checks, the bit that you hate. Yeah. I think that's where you get dedication.
Yeah, discipline as well. Mm-hmm. It's a discipline to do the meaning. Well, you think they're meaningless, but they're just as important as the training people, the creating really deep down to be a full round business.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're just a kind of, don't know, you're not really, you can't catch yourself a business person, can you? If you're not looking after the small things.
Yeah. But that's with everything in life, isn't it? Is what I'm trying to say. Like, it's everything. That is just what dedication is, man. It's easy. It's like when people tell me like they're really motivated, and I'm like, it's easy to be motivated when things are going well. I don't think it's when shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
Are you motivated? You know what I mean? When you're not getting what you think you deserve, are you motivated? Not when everything's going good and you're like going, yeah, I'm motivated. Nah. When you're on your ass and you know what I mean, shit hits the fan, are you motivated?
And this is why you need a big why, you know? And it needs to be so strong, so compelling as to why you're getting up in the morning, why you're trying to achieve this. And it's got to have longevity. You've got to be able to, this isn't just a 6-month goal. This is like a life. This is a vision. You know what I mean? Yeah. So when shit does hit the fan, there's a lot of people, it's their kids. Do you know what I mean? Their wives, their kids. Yeah. That's a strong enough one. Do you know what I mean? Me personally, I haven't got kids. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm a single man. I haven't really got anyone to impress. My mum's self-sufficient. She earns her own pee. Do you know what I mean? There's no one really that I've got to go out there and win for. You know what I mean? So I actually have to work on my why even more.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So my why is like, I'll get real deep with this now. Like, so obviously my old man, God rest his soul, and that he passed away a couple of years ago. And he was like a really good looking, really charismatic guy in his younger years. But as he got older, he deteriorated because he took his foot off the gas. He lost his why. He stopped working as hard. You know what I mean? And like he started to dull his shine. And I've always said to myself, I'm never ever gonna go to that place. Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna evolve past that. Do you know what I mean? So that's a big enough why. That's a big why for me.
Yeah.
Is to take the mantle where my dad was and then go even further with it.
Do you think so you're not living to honour your dad's memory, but in a sense, you always have that inside you, like you've got to make your dad proud. You've got to.
I'm a mum proud as well.
Yeah.
No mother wants to see her son go down the same path that her husband did. You know what I mean? Or someone that they've been close to. You know what I mean? Parents want the best for their kids, don't they?
Yeah.
So
definitely.
for me, it's like always like keeping my mum proud. That's a big why. And then there's always this thing which I always deep inside me, and I call it the kingdom. And I believe that like Jesus says, like the kingdom of God is within inside you. Okay. Now the kingdom of God for me is a state of being that is almost a blissful state of being within your mind, your energy, your body, your vibration. It's literally like you're having an orgasm 24/7. I believe that's possible, bro. Like I've seen some yogis over there in India and they like literally look blissed out. So I call it the kingdom, yeah. And it's quite fit. We've got Biggie Smalls with the crown behind you and that. And I believe that every day I'm trying to reach the kingdom within inside me. Do you know what I mean? Everything I do, so when I wake up and I do my 5K run, to when I do my meditation, to when I'm reading books, to when I'm learning a new language, everything is to rise me up to go to the kingdom inside me.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a utopian place within inside me.
You're talking about like a place inside you, but how big as a part is your actual faith and religion in that? In terms of your journey, your message, like how big is that, and how did you get on that path?
So I think
Have you always been on it?
Nah, I've never been on it until like I think it was about a year after my dad died, because my why I was doing things wasn't compelling and wasn't strong enough to get me over the finish line. It was flawed.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So my why was I need to have a fit girlfriend. I need to have a nice flash car. I need to look the part. Do you know what I mean? I need to like look good in front of people.
Yeah.
And that's a futile vision.
Toxic masculinity.
Yeah, toxic masculinity at its finest. I was the definition of it because I went on X on the Beach, which is literally that on steroids.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when my dad died and I'm watching him dead on the floor, and like he's been decaying for like 2 days. And this is the man that raised me up, literally like took me to football, drove through the pouring rain to like training, everything like that. I sort of had to deal with my own mortality. Do you know what I mean? I was like, whoa, you're going to take this journey one day. You're going to die, you know. Like, are you ready for that? Can you deal with that? That boggled me. That messed me up a bit. Then it was like, what's the point in living? Like, we're all going to die. And like after a couple of weeks, like, most people ain't massively bothered that people are dead. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, that's saying they're not bothered, but it's
I think when you know someone, like, when it's that immediate to you, you feel it differently. Like, everyone knows people have died, but when you feel that close, you know, in them circumstances as well, the imprint it has, it changes you forever, does it? We both know it changes you.
Yeah, well, you think people are going to be as upset as you are for as long as you are, which is just not going to happen. Do you know what I mean? It's not their immediate family. So like, that's totally understandable. The more you learn about grieving and you grow into your grieving over the years, you just like, it's nothing to do with them at all. But to start with, you're like, well, I might as well just do whatever I want then, because like, we're just flesh and bone. And this whole world's run on money. And I had a really bad, like, I went through a real dark place for about a year after my dad died, where I was like getting in fights, was drinking excessively. I was on a path to destruction because the paradigm, the view that I had of the world, along with my dad dying, and then my girlfriend left me a couple of months after that, I was like, I'm going to war like this. Who cares? Like, I ain't bothered.
So when did God come in?
So basically, God come in, and usually you hear in all stories from all different religions, God comes in at your worst possible moment, almost like the moment upon just before you die, or just about when you go into that real dark place where you're thinking about suicide, or real horrible place. So I basically flew out to Thailand for 2 weeks to be with my friends because I just broke up with my girlfriend at the time, and I really loved her as well. And we were meant to be going to the Philippines on holiday, so that holiday got cancelled about 3 days before we were meant to go, and I flew out to Thailand with the boys. And it was, I went on a bit of a drinking session with them for 2 weeks, but then they left me, and I was alone in Thailand by myself. And I remember they'd all gone in the morning. I remember walking across this beach, and I was never really good in my own company. And I'm like, right, your pops is dead, your girlfriend's left you, you're in Thailand by yourself with no friends, and you're a mess. Right, this is going to go really bad. And I promise you, mate, when we talk about synchronicities, when we talk about moments of grace, when we talk about people coming into your life who are almost like angels in the message that they bring, and just at the correct time, it was freaky, bro. I mean, it was happening at a phenomenal rate to the point where I was just felt so looked after by the universe, and it kind of gave me like, oh, there's something a bit more going on here. And the more I started to see it happening, because I was only by myself, no one else was interrupting this process. Yeah. Instead of going with your mates and all that, I was just watching it all unfold. So I started like following it all the time, and then I ended up on this island in Thailand, and I had an extreme experience there, one I'll never forget for the rest of my life. I was drinking myself into oblivion. This couple told me to go to this island. I went there, and I found this bar called Freedom Bar, and we started doing there was mushrooms sold over the counter, like these mushroom shakes. Never done psychedelics. Was always a kid that kind of dabbled with cocaine, ecstasy, alcohol. Now they get on ketamine or something like that. And psychedelics were completely unknown to me. Thought that's just what the hippies do. Do you know what I mean? And I drank this mushroom shake, and it was quite a large amount. I imagine 2-3 grams. And straight away, I'm looking at this cigarette. I'm like, what are you destroying yourself for? And I threw the fag on the floor. And I'm like, I've got 3 glasses lined up with alcohol there. What am I drinking? And I was with some girl from Cambridge, and we started speaking. And I started being completely present. I started speaking really intelligently. She was like, how are you saying all these things? This is amazing. I'm like, I don't even know. And then after about 3 or 4 hours, man, I was like, right, I'm going to go to bed at a reasonable time. I went and got some food on the way home. I woke up next morning fresh. And as I'm walking, when I woke up, I felt this actual sense of joy come into my mind, down my spine and around me. And it felt like a big hug. And it was the first moment I felt a presence of God. Do you know what I mean? Okay. And it was natural as well. I wasn't on any drink or drugs or anything. I've been to sleep though. I've been to sleep. It'd been about 10 hours, let's say. Okay. But then that's in your system. So yeah, but what I was saying to him, must have done something. If you want to go on a physical note, must have done something to open me up to something. Anyway, this wasn't the actual real experience what I said about God, but this was the first moment I felt my look could be changing here. Instead of going on a self-destruct, that you're going into a dark hole, I thought, oh, this is a feeling a bit good. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what's really weird for me? Because mine's I have a complete opposite to you, as in the sense of grew up in a religious household as a child, went to Sunday school, all that, to the age of, 13, I reckon. Then stopped going, have interest, football, friends, all that
girls,
stuff takes
chicks,
girls, all that stuff takes over. So weren't really but I didn't really think about if there was a God or wasn't a God. It was just kind of not really a thought. But I think when my brother died, see how you went the other way, and you kind of said that's when you found God or started to, when your dad passed. Yeah. With me, I think when my brother died, I just thought that, God. There ain't no God. Yeah. So all the big people like me and you, I believe in energy over there's a God, the laws of man, the kingdom of heaven. I don't believe in things like that. I just believe in good energy, putting good into the world, trying to. Because I almost feel like it negates man of its own self-importance.
Well, Jesus said though, the kingdom of God is inside you. So he's almost
It's
trying
the
to give
same
you, he's
thing.
trying to give you your own divinity.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Whereas I think the church is trying to come over and take this power away from you
Yes.
by putting it into a obviously an image. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, into an organisation and another power form.
Yeah.
So you completely separate God from the church.
Yeah, 100%. I'll only go to church because I want to connect with people in a kind of faith-based way, dance and sing, and kind of just be around. I believe Jesus has an energy.
You can go to any church.
You go to any church. I could go into a mosque. I could go anywhere.
It does become like a business. Church is a business, isn't it? Whereas you think, like worship. Well, it is free. I suppose you don't have to pay to go to church, do you? But I don't know, man. I find it like sometimes when I say church, I mean like religions.
Yeah.
Are very restricted. Like they change over time and things like that, which I suppose could be a show of God's evolution.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's why I can't believe that religion is almost like I see it as a box, and I believe that God has no borders.
Mm-hmm.
No walls. It's like the universe is ever expanding. So is God. Do you know what I mean? So are you meant to keep expanding? So you expand your levels of compassion, empathy, your intelligence, your heart, everything. Do you know what I mean? It can't be confined to a religion, a box. But at the same time, religion is great for a lot of people who don't have the time or really, really want to go massively onto that journey, i.e. traveling, things like that, to go find their own truth. It gives them enough truth for them to keep working. And I'm totally for that. It's better than having no truth.
Listen, I am as well. This is what I'm saying. Like, I've been to church over the years, and not necessarily because I believe in God, but I also have to be like, I can't argue with a group of people, like a community, who go somewhere having a good time and just want to be happy. Like, they're not trying to, the average man, I'm not trying to hurt anyone in any religion. So I'm like, well, why am I bothered then? It's like, doesn't matter, just let them do what they want to do.
Yeah, as long as they're not spreading words of hate against other minorities or whatever. That's all it is. I mean, the church I go to, they're absolutely wonderful, lovely. It's like a motivational seminar with Jesus at the forefront of it, and it's all about love, and it opens its borders up to everyone, and there's all different colours, creeds in there. It's absolutely superb the way they've done it. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think your faith has a impact on your relationships with women?
Yeah, man, I think so. I think straight away
what do you, in a good way or?
Well, this is the thing. You could say good and you could say bad. So bad in the sense like before I ever became spiritual, before I kind of became outspoken on my truth, let's say.
Yes.
I got a lot more girls, but notice I said girls, not women.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? A lot of really pretty girls come my way because I was Jack the lad.
Well, they didn't want to hear the depth.
They didn't want to hear the depth.
Shallow.
A lot of the time it was the same with a lot of friends I was rolling with back then. Like the moment I'd try and go into these deep comments, like, oh, come on, Morgan, calm down, but we don't want to be hearing that. Do you know what I mean? And it'd be straight cut off. And I'm like thinking, like, I felt like an outcast, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and now I can honestly say that all my friends I'm connected with are so deep, and I'm so blessed to have the community I've got around me.
Mm-hmm.
The women that I'm in contact with now, that I speak to, that are friends,
are on
that level as well. It's much harder to find a woman at that level that wants to go in a relationship because they're a lot more cautious about who they spend their time with. Obviously, they've done a lot of inner work. They've worked hard on their own truth, and they don't want to be messing it up with the wrong person. So it probably becomes more difficult for me to meet a woman that like. Do you know what I mean?
But wouldn't that be the same vice versa? So
yeah, 100%.
When you're looking for girls, are you more picky because of it? Do you think you're like, right, instead of getting with anyone, you're a bit like, does she need to be religious? Does your woman have to believe in God? Like what?
I'd just say she have an open mind to me. Do you know what I mean? So like not coming with a closed mind, a closed book, like, oh, I don't want to hear that. I mean, literally some girls, mate, they're like, park me up. And some, listen, I'll go out for a coffee, but I don't want to hear any of this religion bullshit. Do you know what I mean? Don't be saying any of that. And I'm like, whoa, like, you can jog on, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like, as if you come in like that. Yeah. So, and I ain't there like to preach to people in the sense like, you've got to believe it's never been about that. That ain't God, bro. The control is not about God. This is how I'm walking, and I'm enjoying the way I'm walking on the planet right now. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's faith-based. Do you know what I mean? And it's attached to Jesus' energy. Do you know what I mean? And
I know a lot of people at times of faith, all sorts of faiths, and they just do say that they just feel happier.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I know a lot of people, generally people I know that, start off as, I don't want to say atheists, but aren't really in touch with their faith, or when they do go back to it, they do. So I don't know, I think it brings a bit of order and routine to people.
It also gives you faith in the dark places as well. I mean, like to just go on the Jesus one, obviously he's been in a dark place. He got crucified on a cross.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? And all he did was heal and teach people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like that shows you how evil the world can be at times. So I mean, if I put my faith into him, when really bad things happen to me, I'll just put it all on the cross and be like, the man that I believe in, who I believe was the most beautiful, loving man in the world, he went through way worse than me. It puts things in perspective. So that faith gives me time in the darkest places.
Yeah.
And I call upon him when I'm in these really awful, terrible places, because I'm like, yeah, I believe his energy is about, I believe Buddha's energy is about, I believe Krishna's energy is about, I believe whatever you want to believe, yeah, its energy is about, man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You tap into it.
So basically, if you believe it, it's real.
Yeah. And
is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but I definitely believe that also as well. Look at it this way. You know when people go into a mosque or go into a temple or go into a church, if you're quite attuned energetically, yeah, you go into these places, you feel an automatic peace a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's a really good vibe in it. I believe it's because people have downloaded really good emotions and energy into them places.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Jesus, right, is obviously worshipped by 2.2 billion people on the planet, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Now, think of all them prayers, all that energy, all that emotion that's been put out there for Jesus. Now, in the quantum world, yeah, of energy, quantum physics, yeah, right, that energy exists. So I'm saying I'm tapping into that energy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course. I definitely agree with you. I mean, like I said, I don't believe in God. I don't believe in God. Yeah, I don't believe in God, actually. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in religion. Well, I believe in religions because they're here. But I just think that as people, the power's in our hands.
Yeah, 100%.
That's it. I feel like some people feel like, it's dangerous to say, well, God's there, because then things in your own life, you kind of can lose accountability for them.
There's a beautiful balance to be had. So there's two ways we can look at this. So I'm a big believer in I am. Mm-hmm. I train the young kids today when I'm football coaching them. I say, like, you say to me, I am a champion. Look in my eyes, make me believe it. I am a champion. I am is powerful. In the Bible, God is I am. Do you know what I mean? And I believe if you really want to create and manifest in this world, you need to believe it before it actually happens. Do you know what I mean? So I am is so powerful. But then again, we could go, you saying I am, and you can become a very bad person saying that. Do you know what I mean? Because you can almost,
your ego
can go to a whole other level with that. Do you know what I mean? So a lot of the time, these deities, they humble you. Do you know what I mean? That you are not. So yes, you are beautiful, magical. The kingdom of God resides within you, but still to have that humbleness that you are not the supreme being. Do you know what I mean? But you are still part of the supreme being. Do you know what I mean? That's how I found out how to argue it. So I don't go around saying I'm God, but I still know my ability. Do you know what I mean? I know that I'm special. I know that you're special. I know that the 7 billion people on this planet are special. Mm-hmm. If they would just awaken themselves to their own divinity. Because we are divine beings, man. Like, honestly, I mean, we were talking about it earlier about most human beings don't even know the levels of what we're capable of. Yes. If we look at that Wim Hof we were talking about, they call him the Iceman, don't they? And he's broke like 27 world records. Like he's like swam underneath Arctic ice on one breath.
27 records?
27 world records he's broken. Yeah, so he's literally like swam under Arctic ice in like ridiculously cold water for like, I think it's something stupid, like, don't quote me on this, but like 5 minutes. Do you know what I mean? He's literally stayed immersed under the ice for like 3 hours. And basically he says that he heats his skin up because of the power of meditation and obviously his belief system. He can actually work at a cellular level to actually like heat his body up. And I mean, there's lots of things that talk about Buddhist monks that do similar stuff. Do you know what I mean? That they can go for these huge pain thresholds without being touched. Yes. So this is 100% fact. People are doing it. Science did all experiments on this Wim Hof. This is all there for the public to see. Google it. And the kids are not being told this at school, that this is a possibility for them, that they have this ability. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's almost like we're teeter-totting on this really, really bang average view of what we're capable of when really we're up there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think, I think part of the journey in life is to awaken to how beautiful and magnificent you are. There's a saying in Coach Carter, isn't there? Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. You know? And you should not play small to make other people feel better. Do you know what I mean? Because by bringing up your light to the world, you automatically bring other people up with you. So you must shine like a star and have the courage to stand there. Do you know what I mean? In order for them to come.
Yeah.
I felt that then. Feel that?
Jesus, I'm going to church on Sunday.
Yeah. Tomorrow, let's go.
You know your church, though? Is it, I mean, like I said, I remember going to church years ago. There's a perception of church. Probably that it's boring, that you're listening to a preacher, you're just sitting there and he's just telling you how to live your life.
They're not going to the right church, bro. Like, seriously, man. Like, this church I'm going to, it's called Champions Church. It's in Neverton. We're talking like, it's like an auditorium, all strobe lights, cinematic, projector screen, all new age kind of Hillsong music, like a strobe lights. It's like a rave, a motivational rave, right? Which is obviously connected to Jesus and the Bible and stuff, but all the crowd are very young. Do you know what I mean? Some really beautiful people in there, all different colours, creeds, all ages, but quite a young audience to start with. And I just, it's a really, really great place to go to. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like in times like these that we're in right now, for some reason, and I think it's a good reason, the government have decided that churches and I don't know if mosques, I think mosques can stay open, places of worship can stay open.
Through the COVID.
Through the COVID, yeah. So you've got to do the 2 metre separate thing. They try and facilitate that within the church, but you can sing and dance with people, which is the closest thing you're going to get to going out, yeah.
Morgan's on the sales team.
Pay me later, champion.
Well, yeah, no, it does sound good. Like I said, if you get down there, where is it? Where'd you go?
So it's in Neverton, obviously Champions Church. Obviously have to just Google it.
There's a lot like that though, isn't there?
There's
now?
loads
Them type of churches are like younger audience, bit more
hip hop.
Yeah, I don't want to say hip, it sounds a bit corny, but a bit more relevant.
Yeah.
Common. Should a church be? I don't know.
100%. Like it's got to evolve, like we said, with the times. I mean, if the church is not getting people through the door and we're in a mental health crisis within the world, then the church ain't doing its job.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If people aren't going to church and there's a mental health crisis, the church ain't doing its job. Do you know what I mean? So basically, there comes a time now for a new, upcoming, upbeat, new vibe, new, generation of young people that are going to kind of inspire people to come to these places of faith-based celebration. And I know London, there's loads of like these places popping up. When I was in Brazil, bro, nearly every person, is got a bit of faith or likes to speak, or knows the Bible. They open up their garage, right, their door, and put some chairs in there, and they do every Sunday. You just drive down the streets in Rio de Janeiro, and there'll be masses going off in people's houses, flipping every 10 on each street. And there'll be 50 people outside in the street on chairs. It's absolutely wonderful. So people find someone within their community who they relate to, who gives the message better than others, and they'll go and sit down at their place and they'll chuck them a couple of quid. Do you know what I mean? Obviously to support their kind of, and there's people getting rich over there, to be fair as well.
Sorry.
Oh. Yes, sure.
Oh, that's awesome. It's business class, right?
That's right. Yeah.
No. Stop. way before you start. Speak about something else so I can just edit it.
Okay, yeah, so we know what we're doing now.
Yeah.
Boom, shakalaka.
Dropping again. So what was you saying?
So obviously in Brazil, they've got all these kind of makeshift churches going off in people's back sort of garages, do you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
And I just think it's
like how Jesus did it.
Yeah, kind of like and these are like I went to some of them, they're like in the favelas and that, and it's like young men like who have obviously, say someone who's like used to be in gangs or something, he's like come good. Yeah. And he's now preaching and that, and like he's got a little congregation of like, I don't know, 60 people there. Do you know what I mean? That's his job now, is bringing the word, do you know what I mean? And it's like, I just feel like it's in Brazil, it's actually like a job path. Does that make sense? Yeah. And what better than to motivate people and then to inspire people, and it's healthy, it's good vibes, do you know what I mean? It's a good thing to get into, or they can go sell drugs, like, do you know what I mean? It's up to them, but like it's a better path. And I don't think I think everyone, like I said, has got divinity, and some people can channel the word, like can channel beautiful things via speaking, and then they should be given a platform. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, not everyone's going to be Tony Robbins, not everyone's going to be Les Brown, or I don't know, Anand Dec, you know what I mean? But like, it's kind of I think if you've got the power and you've been gifted the gift of speech, then make yourself known, use it to inspire and to help and to motivate. Don't sit there, be quiet and say when your deathbed, shoulda, woulda, coulda, I wish I'd spoke then. Yeah, it's true. That's the one thing I think about life, and the one thing that we definitely all are is purpose driven. Yeah. Regardless of what your purpose is, you need something to get up for it. You need something. Hopefully it's something positive. But it might not be. This is the challenge we face. Do you think that churches in the community, like, do you think in England, like, you see the church in the everyday, like, of life, or not even just a church, or if you think it's different for other religions? So I know I can feel like obviously the Muslim community within my community, which has been beautiful, you know what I mean, like where I'm from, and they're very like vocal, and they're out there and they're doing their thing. And I think when I see Ramadan going off in Birmingham, I'm like, whoa, love that. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wish that the Christians could come together and do something big like that. Do you know what I mean? Without the celebrations on the streets. Do you reckon that's politics? Why don't you think that Christians come together? Why is the church kind of retreated from community work? Well, definitely, it's not the case in Brazil. Do you know what I mean? It's definitely down to the church is not as strong in England as it is in Brazil. That's a fact. Do you know what I mean? That's a fact. But I've been both places, and I mean, like I said, you drive down the streets in Brazil, and there's 100 churches down one road. Do you know what I mean? On a Sunday, you drive down England, there's some churches, but are there people in there? Do you know what I mean? So for me, it's like, I feel like there's going to be, personally with my own group of friends and then obviously this church I go to in Everton, I feel like there's a revival going on. There's a lot of people that are speaking to me from my circle of friends who are like, listen man, can I come with you to church on Sunday? And they just want to, especially in this COVID situation, it's like, they want to come and be attached to that vibes on video when I'm in the church, like just to show people what it's like. So a lot of people are interested. So I think the more it gets publicity, the more people will come to it. Because like you said, what is bad about people coming together, singing, dancing, and kind of like sharing each other's energy together? Yeah, exactly. In a place, talking about love and about faith and about tough times and how we overcome them. Like, there's nothing wrong about that. Yeah, it's true. It's true. We've got a very big pub culture in this country. Do you know what I mean? And we all do, and I don't get me wrong, I love a beer. I love going to the pub. Do you know what I mean? But it's it can be very negative at times. Do you know what I mean? And we all know the slippery slope that alcohol brings to the game. Yes. So if you're going to choose what would be a more positive England, would it be more pubs or would it be more places of faith-based celebration? I'd say the faith-based celebration. It's a money thing though, isn't it? Yeah. But I mean, don't which one. Just think about the energy that's created. Think about the health as well. No,
probably agree with you. Like I said, see people just getting together and having a good time. It's like a good form of socialising, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good energy, good vibe. You've all got that common thing. I mean, it's not like you're going to have to like everyone, but if you've all got that common ground where you want everyone to do good, something part of a football club. It's the same thing, really.
We all want that sense of community, don't we? Camaraderie in whatever form. Like obviously I had a football background and I played football for a local team, and I do have a bit of a debate sometimes because they play at 10:30 on a Sunday morning and church starts at 10:30. So looking right now, I ain't got to make that decision, you know what I mean? Jesus or the football gods and that.
Well, you just said you don't need to go to church.
I know, yeah, you don't need to. Sometimes I feel like
it replenishes, you know.
Yeah, I feel like I need that blessing. I need to go in there and just tap into that energy. I feel like it does something within inside me. It's hard to explain, but obviously the football is beautiful. I mean, like when you're 2-1 down, when you're playing against like some team from up Dudley and that, and like you level it, and then you score in the last minute, and it's a muddy Sunday, like in Brown West End Park, Kidderminster, mate. You're buzzing, everyone's up on the sidelines, man, coming diving on the floor, Kingsman's and that. It's one of the greatest feelings ever, like, do you know what I mean? Even the girls that are running on the dogs and that, like, and it's the kids are all doing dancing and that, it's amazing. But yeah, it's hard to choose between the two.
Yeah, man, so what else has been going on with you anyway?
So basically, I've tapped into obviously football coaching now with the kids.
Yeah.
It's strange because obviously I had the football background with Aston Villa from like 10 years old to 18, and then a little bit spent at Liverpool, and obviously played with some top players who played for England, and you know what I mean? Great experience, got a great base, football knowledge base throughout all of that situation. And I kind of like, you know when you feel like everything happens for a reason? Yeah. I kind of like walked away from that and was like, well, what was the reason? And then I kind of thought, okay, you fit, you're out, you fit, you're strong, you've become a personal trainer. Do you know what I mean? And that obviously ties in with football. I thought, how can you like learn all that stuff in football and you not be in football anymore? And it's weird. The moment I had a vision when I was in Brazil that I was going to get this house one day. Didn't know how I was going to get this house. And was going to build like a training centre on the back. Do you know what I mean? So I'd have a big conservatory with a studio, and I'd have a big like garden, and I'd have a training centre, and I had this vision, I drew it out and everything. And bro, it's coming to life now. And it's like loads of people that knew me from the manor playing football as a kid are bringing their kids to come and train with me now. And you know when you feel like, when we talk about this purpose, like it feels like, whoa, this is really, really meant for you. This is coming so fast, this wave, and it's so amazing. And the kids that you're training are so good, and they're so attentive, and they're so well behaved, and they're really, really absorbing all the stuff you're saying like a sponge. It's like, whoa, you need to roll with this.
Yeah.
So you need to invest in this now. So basically, I'm looking at investing in my training studio at my home.
Okay.
And trying to make it a place where kids can come and train and learn football, but also learn many other things. Because I believe these days, and throughout all history, you've got to learn to become a peaceful warrior. So there's a saying that I read the other day. It's better to be a warrior in a garden than it is to be a gardener in a war. You know? So I feel like I want to coach kids to have discipline. I want to coach kids to have energy, faith, whatever faith they believe. Do you know what I mean? Like just faith in magic, and let's say law of attraction, the secret. That's the kind of base level people like to play at these days. So let's go with that. Do you know what I mean? The universe. So get them to believe in that kind of magic and never let that leave them. And also the pitfalls about like getting involved in crime and the drugs and all them sort of things. Do you know what I mean? Because I've been through them. And let them know firsthand, because hopefully if I inspire them and lead by example enough, and also their families and all the people there, they ain't going to go down that way. Because I realised one of the reasons I got into it was because there was a lack of inspiration masculine wise within my own household and around me. So there wasn't many positive male role models around me. The ones that were getting all the claps were the geezers that were shutting the Charlie and were the drug dealers. Do you know what I mean? We're getting the girls driving the nice cars. So I'm like, I'm looking at them Do you know what I mean? And then you kind of like go, start entertaining that idea that it's even a decent idea.
Yeah, of
Do you know what I
course,
mean?
of course. Yeah. You feel like, oh, you know what? First of all, it's easy.
Yeah.
Second of all, you're going to get the respect. And you get that sense of belonging again.
Yeah.
You become like resourceful, don't you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it definitely
People
teaches you some
need
decent
you.
business acumen.
Yeah. But that's the thing, people need you there.
Yeah.
There's nothing, well, I was going to say there's nothing worse than being like useless.
Yeah.
Which sounds stupid, but.
Yeah, we want to be useful to our communities, to our families.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, the drug dealing thing is not the best example of that. Right? But let's go back to the more positive aspect of it. So let's say it's selflessness. They talk about different ways to enlightenment. Let's say enlightenment is where everyone really genuinely wants to be, which is a happy, peaceful state of being. And they say there's these ways to get there. So one's devotion.
Yes.
One's faith, incredible faith. One's awareness. You're just so present. Do you know what I mean? That you're there. And the other one is you would say usefulness, like a service. You know, how useful you are within the community, how much selflessness. Do you know what I mean? Complete. You are not thinking for yourself. You are all about helping everyone else. So I feel like we all need to find what our strengths are, whether we're a person that is very devoted and we have to go down that route. Do you know what I mean? Or we're very, very like loving and kind of can't do enough for people. Do you know what I mean? We go down that route. And we've always got to work on all them areas as a whole. But you will find most people are not the full package. Do you know what I mean? They excel in a certain area. For example, I could speak myself, I excel in dedication. Do you know what I mean? Like, and faith. It's like I'm insatiable with that. Do you know what I mean? But when it comes to kind of a few other ones, I probably aren't that good. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's things I know that are lacking. That's
the thing. People, no one can be the best at everything. No one can know everything. When you think you know everything, you know that you're stupid. Yeah, that's the only thing you know. Like, you know, so I think that's just normal. I think I don't know. I think I've probably gone through life just always wanting to expand my knowledge more so than anything else. Because I remember being young, thinking I had this thing where I wanted to be married, have kids, you know, settled by a certain age, and then things don't happen. So you start to think like, right, like, what's now? Is the plan changed or is the goal changed? Yeah. You know, so I think you just got to adapt with your plan, but always just expand on that knowledge, man. Yeah. I think faith in your own journey. If everyone got married at 21, and everyone had kids at 22, it'd be a pretty boring world, wouldn't it? Oh, 100%, man. The journey's the biggest part about it. Yeah. The biggest part about it. Everyone goes the same place. Yeah. And how do you feel like, I mean, we're both, I don't know if I'm 32, and I ain't got no kids or anything like that. I'm 35, no kids. That's what I mean. So let's talk about how do we feel in this current world that we're in with being, I mean, I'm personally single, childless. I'm not single, but it does, do you know what? It used to really bother me because I did think but you know, it's what you grow up seeing. So I think most people, regardless of their upbringing, love their upbringing, unless you've been through abuse. So it's kind of like I meet people all the time, and it's like their brothers, they've got 3 brothers and sisters. So when they have kids, it's how many kids do you want? They go 4. Yes, because that's what you had. You know what I mean? Like you need that mirror image of the comfort of nostalgia is what you want to create. You want your kids to be better than you, but you kind of want them to have the same life as you. Yeah. You know what I mean? So anything else is just too different. It's scary. So I mean, I definitely want children. So being 35, it definitely, you know, they talk about the woman's biological clock, but I think men also think about having kids later. Like, I wouldn't want to have kids too late. I want to still be able to the energy level. You know what I mean? I want to be young enough to see their successes as well in life. You know, so I think there is a clock for men as well. But you've got your vitality. Yeah. Like, I wouldn't. which I wouldn't, because you never know until you get to that point. But I wouldn't really want to have kids after the age of 40.
Yeah.
That's just a personal preference, like for me. So let's say I'm 35, let's say I want 2, 3 kids. Do you know what I mean? It's pushing.
You need to start packing on now, man. Call the wife, I'm coming home.
But you see what I mean? So yeah, definitely being a childless at 35 isn't the way I thought it would go, but I need to stop obsessing about it, because there's a point where, when I was younger, I always thought I want to have kids. When I made my missus, we're going to have kids and we're going to do this. So a lot of the things I was doing was just based on that alone. Like, when I have kids, I want to be like a good role model, or when I have kids, I want to be able to get them things. So it kind of like put me into this mode of not actually just thinking, well, actually, what do you want? Like, what do you want to do? Like, not that I didn't want to do that, but I wasn't doing it for my own pleasure. So I was taken away from the actual experience of doing things, because I was always thinking about, I need to do this for someone else, rather than just enjoying it and going, I'm doing this. So yeah, I had to change that. Probably not that long ago, because
it was based in an illusionary state. I mean, if your girlfriend said to you, I'm pregnant now, and you're going, well, I need to be a disciplined guy for my kid or whatever, because you're going to have a kid. But before that, it's not even happened, is it? Do you know what I mean? So you need to change the paradigm so it's more.
Not like, I don't mean like, I'm talking in terms of like doing things. So, like, even just trying to set up your own business, or working from your own, like, you want to be, you want to be a good role model for your kids, don't you?
Yeah.
So we haven't got kids, but we know that when we do have them, I'm assuming that we're going to want to give them everything that you possibly can.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I'm not really bothered about like the material aspects of things, really. But I know that when I have children, things cost money. Like, quality of life costs money. So it's not like when I get my successes, I'm not doing it for myself. I'm doing it for when I have kids, but I haven't got any kids. So really, I should just be doing it for myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's
no, it's so true. I'm always like chasing myself in 10 years' time. Do you know what I mean? And even tomorrow, I'm still chasing myself in 10 years' time. I'll never ever get to that man in 10 years' time. But 10 years is enough for me to see. I can't see I'm going to be at 70. It's too far in the future. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how much I'm still having teeth or not. Do you know what I mean? Right now. So I'm kind of like 10 years, I can kind of just vaguely picture what I could be like. And I'm like, how does he talk? How does he walk? What's he look like? What's his morals like? What's his presence like? What do people think of him? Do you know what I mean? What's he done? Do you know what I mean? And I have this vision of him, the best vision I can think of for myself. Do you know what I mean? What's attainable for me in 10 years? And I'm working and I'm putting in the groundwork every day to get to him. Do you know what I mean? And that's the journey that I'm on. It's me versus me. And then obviously, if please God, children do come into the equation, then I'll have done the inner work and the outer work in order to be a man that they can feel looked after by, feel the presence, and obviously respect. Because if I respect myself and my journey, then it's going to be much easier for them to respect me and to want to walk with me and go listen to what I'm trying to teach them. That's it, like, isn't it? It's like it's the journey of Mufasa and Simba, bro. Do you know what I mean? Like you got your little Mufasa. Yeah. It's I noticed with a lot of kids, and it was similar with myself. There's a lot of disbelief in their own abilities. You know, when they're young, their parents are telling them that they can do it, but they don't sometimes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
And the journey, I think, as a parent, is to help your child to believe in themselves. Do you know what I mean? One of the first things, because if they believe in themselves, then the world's their oyster.
It's crazy, isn't it, though? But I think as parents, like we talked about last time, it's conditioning, isn't it? So there's a lot of people out there who want their children to just take the safe option. And I don't mean in terms of danger, but I mean, let's say you've got someone, yourself, a football, someone goes, your kid's amazing at football. And the parents like, yeah, that's great. Takes him to a few trainings, but they're always in the net like going, like if he doesn't work out, you need another plan, which you do. But at the same time, sometimes it can be like more extreme than that. Going, nah, don't play football.
Yeah.
Go and get a job. Go and do accounting. There's more like, and it's kind of like, whoa.
I think when you look at your child's future, you need to almost place your bets almost like you would with your money, diversify your portfolio. So you invest in property and you invest in the stock market, right? You balance it out. And it's like with your kid, you invest in the property, which would be like the football. But at the same time, you've got them a contingency plan going alongside, which would be like, okay, what else do you enjoy building? Okay, so we're going to get you on this construction kind of route.
It's basically just giving them as much experience and opportunities to do things like
that they like.
Yeah. And just when they're young, just from very early, do you want to go and try horse riding? Do you want to go and try, football, basketball, rugby, boxing, gymnastics, dancing? Do you want to go and play chess? Do you want to do music, piano? Everything you can. And it's hard for parents, obviously, because these things cost money.
Yeah, of course.
But it's just trying them, isn't it?
You've got to throw, you're right, up until about 12 years old, or something about that, you want to throw into every single sphere possible, find out what they like, do you know what I mean? And then literally you start working out kind of their skill set, their attributes, their joy, and then you start putting them down that path. If you do, it's a beautiful, imagine it'd be a beautiful job being a parent, you know? Like, absolutely beautiful. If you really tough, man. And also as well, like, obviously, what if you get a kid who just like, he's just bang right naughty, man. Do you know what I mean? Just like straight
savage.
Just pouring the milk on the floor at breakfast and that, like, bothered.
That bitch.
Yeah.
Nah. You know what? I don't know, man. Like, well, obviously we're not parents yet, so.
No.
But hopefully. But
out in the universe. I think though, do you know what?
Well, this is the thing though, if it doesn't happen, like, this is what I'm saying, you kind of have to take value in your own life, because I'd like to be parents, but if I'm not a parent, then my life ain't over.
Still has meaning.
It ain't over, like, it's not like, oh my God, I'm not a dad.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm worthless. You know what I mean? Like,
100%.
so much more.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, and there's so many things that you can do where you can actually help and teach kids like what I'm doing right now, and not have to like do the nappies and that. Do you know what I mean? So there's a million routes you can go down, but definitely I feel as we get older, giving back in whatever form is the way forward. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think we're coming to that age now where obviously there's a lot of social pressures, like, and especially like, the mums are on your case, and it's like, when you're going to meet a girl and everything like. My mum's not like that personally, but you do feel this kind of little whisper going off in the background.
Yeah.
But for me, you definitely don't want to be making a mistake with the wrong woman or the wrong fella. Do you know what I mean? You want to be.
What do you mean in terms of how?
Well, I mean, if you get with the wrong person, I mean, you get with somebody who's abusive, or you get with somebody who's.
That's like anything, though.
Yeah, you've got to be.
It's worse when you've got children.
But what I'm saying, a lot of people settle, don't they? A lot of people, they'll feel this crunch time coming. Do you know what I mean? And instead of like just holding it together, knowing their worth, and just taking a deep breath and walking through that desert by himself for a bit longer, and waiting for the right person, they're just quick to get to the next thing coming. And then like they wake up about a year or two later, but what am I in? This person is nothing like aligned to my values or who I am. And it's it's not a good relationship. And I think you got to be brave, man. You got to be brave when it comes to who you choose as a life partner. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, definitely. You need to vet people.
Yeah, do your homework kind of thing. Get
I think that sounds like a deeper topic for next time. Though. But yeah, man, so God's Child podcast.
Yeah, bro, good speaking, chat, and guys back home. This was insightful, and big love, respect, and enjoy whatever day this gets aired.
Yeah, man, and make sure you go back and listen to the last one.
Yeah, definitely. Take care. Wow.
For I am yours. side.